cute loot riot.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian. Today I'm playing with Loot, the key to everything. Loot is pure card advantage. Loot exiles cards based on a number of non-land permanents other than Loot that have different types. And you can play those cards until the end of your turn. And this adds up very, very quickly. Loot will get you maybe 2, 3, 4 cards, and then you have to use them as quickly as you can. And how do you do that? Well, you try to play as many lands as you can in a turn. So this deck has a lot of things that give you additional land drops in a turn. Cards like Dryad of the Elysian Grove, like the Case of the Locked Hothouse, and Oracle of Muldrotha. We also have some, adventures here. Tail the Suspect that does the same thing. I was thinking serpents because we also have some big good stuff because, we're getting extra mana. We may as well use it, right? Because everything we're playing is from exile, we also have Doc Arlock to help discount those things. And each time we put a card into exile, we can make cards like Lelia bigger. Beyond that, this is very much a teamer good stuff pile, with a focus on lower cost permanents so we can get lots of things out for loot. And this strategy is very, very effective. It turns out that good cards are, in fact, good. And also, we have lots of different permanent types. We have creatures that are doubly enchantments or artifacts or anything like that. We have creatures that make artifacts. And of course, we have some battles, planeswalkers, and other goodies thrown into the mix. With Loot, you can get so many cards playable in a single turn, and he protects himself with a teeny tiny bit of ward. So we have lots of great teamer cards, and we're going to toss them into play with Loot. Tatyova, Benthic Druid. I would go ahead and say that their deck is very similar to ours. They are looking to ramp, get a lot of lands into play, and draw cards. Except they do it through landfall, draw a card. We do it through Loot, sitting around and exiling cards. Alright, now I just need to draw a third land. Let's see if we can get there. Am I expecting a counter spell? I think it's a Tail's End. I'm going to play Cavalry Revels. That will give me on-cast abilities for all of my creatures that I cast. Okay, Cyclonic Rifting that back into my hand. They clearly don't want that, and now I don't have red mana. Uro! Uro gets them a land. Well, assuming they have one in hand. But they're Tatyova deck. Landfall, draw a card, gain a life. Like, they have lands. Even if they did have a Tail's End here, they wouldn't be able to cast it. I'm going to go to get all of the landfall in the world. Now I've got choices. Loot, Revels, Oracle, Lelia. The faster I get Lelia out, the faster she starts growing. So I'm going to go for Lelia. If they have a Wash Away, that'll be able to hit spells that I cast off Lelia. It'll be able to hit spells I cast off Loot, and it will be able to hit Loot himself. They get 5 mana here. They could play Tatyova, but you wouldn't be drawing a card this turn. Oh, they're tutoring for something. Solve the equation. You're having a mana drain? No, a River's Rebuke. They want to throw all these cards back into my hand. Okay, that's completely fair. I will go to combat. That is a Cyclonic Rift. I can't really do anything with that here. Confounding Conundrum. I'm looking for a land. That is a land. The land falls. Oracle of the Alpha. Oracle of the Alpha is going to shuffle the Power 9 into my deck. Oracle of the Alpha is an incredible card with loot. This is an arena-only card, but you should include it in your loot decks, because when you have a high number of impulse draws, you can play all of these low and zero cost cards almost every time you see them. All right, so everybody goes back into my hand, as is to be expected. Case of Locked Hothouse. All right, I don't have, like, actual red mana yet, so we're going to use Confounding Conundrum. We're going to look. Okay, that's an Arcane Signet. That'll work. And Lotus Cobra. And if they want to put multiple lands into play in a turn, Confounding Conundrum will tell them to put those back into their hand. It can give them technically more lands to play, but it will also mean that they won't be getting additional lands in play permanently, which is really, really good against landfall decks like Tatyova. It's also really good against Pawk. If you are in blue, please consider running Confounding Conundrum. It is a meta pick. It's also an enchantment for loot. There's many reasons to have a Confounding Conundrum in your deck. Do I build my commander decks the same as Brawl? I don't. I actually sometimes find myself building my commander decks too much like Brawl decks, too focused on this like 1v1 interaction heavy stuff, and I have to try really hard to not do that. All right, so they're just doing the old 5 mana Explorer that untaps their lands, a Naked Time Warp that also puts a 5th card into their graveyard. That's a 6th card into their graveyard if they'd like to play Uro this turn. No, they just passed. Cabaret Revels? I'm scared. I don't know what they got, but I'm scared. I'm leading with the Rebels because if they don't counter this, it will give me really good on-cast stuff. Okay, Nissa. This one getting countered? A land. 2 landfall triggers. And everybody's favorite, Looty Patootie. Loot, the key to everything! I don't know what you have, but I'm scared, so I'm not attacking in. Oh, Zotawara. Cool, so they're bouncing the Confounding Conundrum back into my hand. Makes perfect sense. They want this to be their turn they go off, so they're going to do their best to get as much value as they possibly can. Just like how I'm going to try to get as much value as I possibly can. Unfortunately, loot only has 2 permanent types out. Artifact and creature. They bounced my enchantment. Woe is me. Here is an Uro. Uro is going to get them lands aplenty, drawing them a card, and putting a land into play, and drawing, or getting 3 life each time it attacks. Okay, Lou, what'd you find? Wash Away and Vorinclex. Let's start with Vorinclex. Because I need lands. Hello, 1 lands, please. Hello, 1 lands, please. And thank you. Listen, if I had a land, I would have played it first. You know that. You know that, Tatyova. Vorinclex would very much like to get me 2 forests. And you know what kind of forest he can get? Non-basic forests! I have a red land! Behold! I've done it. I think that they're holding their counterspells for the Confounding Conundrum. I mean, I could play it. But I'd rather keep trying to ramp. Red lands are real, but they will still try to hurt you. If they counter this, I can't play the Confounding Conundrum, which kind of achieves their goal for this turn anyway. Yeah, alright, so they have a wash away. I go to attack, and I attack for 2! RIP wash away. I'm really glad I got to get my lands, though. Tatyova, landfall, gain a life, draw a card. How many lands will they get into play this turn? Let's keep count. 1. It's one that makes them sacrifice, though. I think the Tranquil Thicket and an Island are gonna go away. Oh, wow, they went for non-basics. Okay. Uro swings in. Land number 2. 2! And it's a fetch land, so you know that they can get a 3rd. I'm not going to block because they have more things in their graveyard. Land number 3. Why stop there? It's gonna be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Do you ever feel really happy you have a Crater Hoof Behemoth in your hand? Have you ever felt like, dang, it's really great we have a Crater Hoof Behemoth in our hand? As we play against this big old Tatyova. They want to draw every single card they have. So do I think they have free counterspell? No, I don't. So we are going to play the Mox Ruby. We're going to float some mana. You know what? For insurance, I'm actually going to play the Malevolent Hermit. Go to combat and win the game. GG, Tatyova, but it's Tatyova for you. The first Sliver, and likely the first and only Sliver. We see a lot of these. If you're watching this video and you're like, how many first Slivers did you play against today? The answer is a lot of them. We played against a lot of first Slivers. I'm going to start with this Lotus Cobra, but this Confounding Conundrum, because they probably have some good land-based ramp, will almost certainly come into play this game. Lotus Cobra, I am going to float some mana. I'm going to play Uro. Uro is going to draw a card. Let me put a land into play. We have a beautiful land to put into play. This Hinterland Harbor. And I have a choice between playing Loot, playing the Conundrum, holding up Memory Lapse. I would love to actually, like, use my commander. So I'm going to play Loot. I think the tactical attack here, probably holding up the Memory Lapse. But I'm not here for that right now. Oh, Roxanne? Again, Amy, do you wanna hold this up? Alright, I'm gonna be a responsible young lady. And I'm gonna hold my Memory Lapse. I know, Roxanne, I'm sorry. But I made the right choice. That's a Rusko. I hate him. I have noticed that my opponent did not get another land there, so we're gonna go ahead and exile that. Well, they gotta tap the land. Table the Mirrorbreaker, and we're swinging in. Playing Rusko again. Solemn Simulacrum to get a white mana source. What a cool robot you are. Exile 2 things, since now we have a Fable. Fables and Playable. I will drop Turn Timber, Symbiosis, and Confounding Conundrum at this point. Wash away. Love to see it. I can actually go Spire Bluff here. Get the counter onto Omnath. Hey, Zuza. I am going to throw this. The more cards I get in my graveyard, the happier Uro is. The first Sliver comes out, cascades. We're going to see what it cascades into. Uro is not a card I care about, so we are going to wash away the first Sliver. Uro can't block. Sure, it gains them 3 life, but we have way more damage than they would be healing for. GG. Watley, Poet of Unity, gets them a land and turns into a Saga. The Saga makes dinosaurs. Then lets them find a dinosaur. Then gives their dinosaurs double strike. Oh, it also lets their creatures tap for mana, I believe. I think it does all of those things. That first hand was okay, but it didn't have any green mana. And I think the green mana is really important in this deck since so much of our stuff is ramp and playing lands and stuff like that. All right, let's grab that Restless Ridgeline, throw it down. Perfect. Love that this is an enchantment creature. Loot loves that this is an enchantment creature. Now we just got to get a blue source off the top. If I don't get a blue source here, I'll use Invasion of Ikoria to get, I think, Delighted Halfling. Okay, perfect. Here comes Loot. Boop, boop, boop. He's the baby. You have to love him. Yes, Louis is the baby. I'm like double checking this. All right, so yes, makes the dinosaurs. Creature tap for mana. Tutor for dinosaur. Dinosaur double strike trample. Domri ramps, makes things uncounterable. We do have a couple counter spells in our deck, and can also fight our creatures. Okay, your creature spells cannot be countered. Do you have a 1-drop creature to cast? They do! Ixali's Lorekeeper. We get 2 cards off the top. Lotus Cobra and Uro. Okay. Lotus Cobra first, get that beautiful landfall to get some extra blue mana for Uro. Uro will draw us a card and maybe put one into play. I do really like the alternate art for Loot. I just don't have it. I'll attack Domri with my Kami. Would you like to trade? They did not. We have ourselves a battle ready to rumble. Currently, I don't have that much mana, but even just getting the battle out adds to Loot's count. But I think Loot is going to die here. They have enough mana. Oh, actually, they're not going to go for the fight. I was going to say, they have enough mana to, like, play Watley and then use her to fight Loot. Oh, hey, gorgeous. A Scrap gorgeous. My cat's name is Scraps. He's gorgeous, too. Wow, that's a lot of mana dorks. I imagine they have a really big dinosaur in their hand. We get 2 cards in exile. Ooh, a Discounter and a Forest. Maybe I want Bonnie Paul out this turn. If I do this, I don't get Bonnie. And that's just fine. Got 4 mana. I could go for Invasion for X equals 3. What 3-drop would I get? Ooh, maybe another landfall thing. I could play the 1 ring to give myself protection. Protection's always good. Augur of Autumn lets me play creatures and lands off the top. Currently only lands, eventually that. I'm just gonna find whatever the heck off this invasion. Search my library. Ooh, Oracle of the Alpha. Maybe Lelia. Lelia could swing in this turn. But Oracle gives me more free playable spells off loot. So I'm going to go for the Oracle. Yeah, Oracle of the Alpha, I will say, is an all-star card with loot. It puts the Power 9 into your deck, and the Power 9 is notably includes a lot of free artifacts, which if you happen to draw them off loot, you can just get them into play. Also, Time Walk's in there, and Ancestral Recall, Black Lotus and stuff. It's good. It's good if you have a massive amount of card advantage. Oh, excuse me. Oracle of the Alpha, I need you to get off the screen. Thank you. Watley, Poet of Unity. Gets them a basic. Basic comes into play. Oh, Plains! Ooh. Plains with big tumbleweeds. Alright, Domri, are you gonna take out loot? They might also go for Oracle of the Alpha because it's a flyer. Yeah, they're taking out the Oracle. But the damage has been done. I already have the stuff in my deck. Aw, rippin' peppies. There goes Uro. Dang, that stinks. Okay. I didn't need that. How do I know it's not just a very small camera? I guess I don't. This taps for 2, but it would reduce my count for loot because it's my only enchantment. So I'm just going to take the 4. I'm rolling greed. Pure greed. Alright, we exile 3. 1, a 2, a 3, a pearl. Nice. Also a lightning bolt. Mox Pearl. Hello, Scrap Gorger. You, doing something over there? Okay, cool. I got choices for days, too. We got Bonnie, we got Coma. I think I'm going to start with Bonnie because I like her. And Big Lady. Making sure it's leaving some red for me. So I can bolt either their commander or Domri. This is, I guess, allowing them to tap for 1 mana, but, like, I don't know what else they've got. Hello, opponent? Here we go. Thank you! Alright, here we go. We got a big cow. Bonnie comes with bow. And then we'll have them say... Actually, I should hold this. Have them say, oh no. We get an Augur of Autumn. That'll let us play creatures and lands off the top of our library. There's land. I will go to combat. Do I feel like sacrificing my discount engine to draw a card and put a land into play? Nah. Everything's fine here. Bolt Scrap Gorger, so it can't hold priority, is a real feeling right now. The reason I didn't bolt on that turn is if they go to flip over Watley, I can respond and kill her. Oh, it's the Tarask. Oh, that's fun. What is with the cards sticking on the screen today? We've got the Tarask coming out. It does have haste and ward 10, and it will fight something. Who you fighting? Bonnie, maybe? Oh, they're fighting the Augur of Autumn. I'm going to double block with these two now. And I'll kill Watley. I've started throwing Bonnie into things as just some sweet, sweet Simic good stuff. Oh, would you look at that? A Time Walk. For me! And a Black Lotus for free! And Coma. Yep. That's Coma, all right. I will attack with Bonnie. 6 damage to that. Take out this. This will flip over, which will actually reduce my count for loot. But I'll get an 8-8. And then we can start attacking face. And we win the game. GG. I wanted to take a quick break to show Loot's alt art since it got brought up. It is really, really cute. I think that they had it in an event in Arena, so I can't actually unlock it right now. But I love this. It's of Jason Rasco being like, "Hello, tiny baby. Come out of the Fomori vault. We're gonna use you to dismantle the universe." I love that. It's so cute. Okay, back to gaming. The first Sliver, and probably the first and only Sliver. The first Sliver cascades on cast, which is just a really good thing to do, so they use it to get value. Eventually I'll get enough mana for a Tali. We'll keep him on top. We got some ramp. Llanowar Loam Speaker. Yeah, we'll be able to tell pretty quickly if this is a Slivers deck. I'd say that maybe once a week I run into an actual Sliver deck. It's always special when you do. I'm trying to decide if I want one extra damage in this turn. Yeah, okay. Loam Speaker hits for 1. We've got 4 mana so far. A lot of it very blue. A Leyline Binding. Alright, they do have 1 extra mana to pay Loot's Ward. And he has been bound. I'll free him. It means I don't get the Impulse Draw. Ooh, but I drew good stuff. It's almost like my deck is just Teamer good stuff. So here's Minsk and Boo, good card. Yeah, we make a Boo every turn if we don't already have a Boo. And then we make Boo bigger. And then we yeet the Boo. Essica, okay. Not as strong on the front versus the back. What do you guys think? Their commander belongs in the moon? Yeah, their commander belongs in the moon. I'm gonna yeet this baby Boo at Essica. Yeah, we're running a lot of these like witness protection style effects in this deck because they just work out really well. In case I don't get a different land, I'm going to bolt in Turn Timber to play Uro to get the Yamavaya Coast so I can play a Llanowar Elf. And our opponent leaves. Nice. Jin Gitaxis! This is the Jin Gitaxis that draws them a card if they cast a non-creature spell that costs 3 or more. Also, it can flip over, but only if their hand is really, really full of stuff. Since this is a mono blue deck, this was a snap keep of a hand. It had a Delighted Halfling. Yeah, they were playing Oops All counter spells, which means that we just sit here with an uncounterable series of legendary spells and we win the game. A good game, I guess. Borborygmos and Bubblethump. Just like us, it's Teamer good stuff, and usually has a bit of a land sub-theme because he can throw lands when he enters the battlefield or attacks. And by he, I mean they. There are 2 one-eyed beings between the 2 of them. I could go for a turn 1 Delighted Halfling into a turn 2 Loot, or I could play my favored card, which is going to be Ragavan. Be monkey, do crime. It also might lead into a turn 2 Loot. Ah! Same hat! Okay. That's a very appropriate name. Okay, so they're gonna kiss. There's 2 monkeys meeting in the middle. And here comes the halfling. 2 Teamer good stuff decks that are just like, you have Ragavan, I too have Ragavan. It's the Spider-Man meme. It is. They have green. They have red. They have Paradise Druid. I have loot. It's really cute. I hope they can't kill it. Four mana up. It does cost 1 extra to kill loot, but like a Prismari command would kill this tiny little man. The E-weest. Oh, yes! He's the last wizard. So, when this card got revealed, also I'm the one who revealed it, I had said, like, I'm going to build a Borborygmos and Fibblethip deck because of how good this is with it. It's really good. Because this is a homunculus, also a Cyclops. It could be 2 things. Oh, nice Lelia. And a Kellen. Okay, we're going to start with Lelia. And yeah, I'll use the Halfling. Go to combat. Swing in. Card gets exiled. It is a Botanical Sanctum. You want a double block? Okay. I'm going to use Tail the Suspect. It investigates and lets me play an additional land. And here's the additional land. Perfect. That gives me enough mana for a Tali, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, I would need a land. But, I mean, we're going to draw a card and get 2 additional cards off our library. I feel like the chances of us getting an untapped land are pretty high. Kiora, who draws cards on big boys, like Borborygmos and Fibblethip, or Surek, or any sort of other big teamer stompy thing. Okay, that wasn't land. That wasn't land. Lelia, you'll find the land, right? Lelia? Where's the lands? I kind of like Surgical Metamorphing for Kiora. So I'm going to do that. We'll see if this gets countered. It did. Okay, so it was a wash away. No lands, no bishop. I'm going to use Haywire Might here. Because it's going to go away. Rip Uro. I know, I needed this to resolve to get the Uro out. And heck no, I'm not going to hold up Tail's End. I gotta win this game on the back of Lelia and loot. Hopefully they don't, you know, like throw a land at loot this turn. They'll have enough mana. You tap, untap, just have to have a land in hand. And since Borborygmos and Fibblethip draw a card and enter the battlefield, the chances of that are fairly good. Also with Kiora. I know I dug so hard for lands for a Tali. It's okay, I'm still going for a Tali. I know what I'm here for. It's a tall order. Ooh, they got a land to play too. Fabled Passage, Kraken Open Getting. Island. That's a tapped land. Okay, Lelia, sweetie. Thank you. Are we trading? Oh, okay. I could play a bunch of little things. And, like, hold up Tail's End. But I think it's a Tali time. Can't be countered. We use the Halfling. Not that... I think you'd be able to. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. I already used Wash Away, too. We saw it. Oh, Goblini! An offer you can't refuse. That doesn't work on dinosaurs. Howdy. This Goblin and Archomancer discounts our Commander, our Kellen. All of our beautiful green and red spells. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, so that is enough to replay Borborygos and Fubblthup. I know, they're like best friends. Coma! No snake for you. Not this turn. It's a pact. They're pacting my tail's end of them getting the little token. Okay, Coma. Snarky! Can I have my snake mana? Thank you. You really wanted that coil? Well, the coil lets them tap down a Tolly. Currently seeing an artifact and a creature. Coma is a problem, though. And Coma will forever be a problem. I mean, I can hope that we get something like Imprisoned in the Moon or Witness Protection. There's a lot of different cards that'll be pretty good. Yeah. I think the Tails one was removal. I mean, it was something pretty big because they also needed to protect the Kiora, I feel, because they really wanted the card draw. And also the untapping. We're gonna get yet another coil. Who you tap? Who you tapping? Tapping down a Tolly. Preventing me from transforming it, too. I can't activate its abilities. The Wash Away is not going to do anything. Oh, Bonnie. Bonnie for a discount, too. We get a big blue ox. I could kill Kiora or Slogurk here. Oh, I see. They were trying to stop me from having the free draw. Enjoy your lands. You know, maybe I should have killed... Yeah, I probably should have killed Kiora. Since I can't use this Wash Away. Oh, yeah, I can't use it because it's outside. All three of those attacking means Kiora will die. Decline. Bounce you back into hand. There we go. Oh yeah, I could have directed one at these too. Perfect. Okay. So, Koma's back in hand. Kiora's off the board. Borborygmos and Fubblethip is playable. They do have 2 lands in hand, because Slogurk put them there. It worked out, because we could have seen the thing on top. And Doc Arlok next turn is going to be giving us even more big discounts. You could replay Koma, but I have so many creatures, and many of them are very big. Thanks, Bonnie. Brass's Tunnel Grind. Okay, so they're just digging. They're digging, but since they already played a land this turn, I don't think that there's any mass bounce spells that they're likely to be running that would be playable off this mana. That's gonna be game. GG. Sauron, the Dark Lord. Sauron, the Dark Lord is an incredibly good Grixis control commander, or an Amass commander, or a Tempted by the Ring commander. A bit of all of that. I do have a turn 2 Ragavan here, but I'm going to mulligan to try and find some slightly better mana. And I do really like the mana in this hand. I can go Rockfall Veil into either this Forest or Breeding Pool to get out Goblin and Narcomancer to discount all of my red and green spells. Perfect. We also have some Landfall, Aristic Study, some Removal, and Imprisoned in the Moon. Delver of Secrets. Ooh, somebody's got spells. Like, looking at Doc, like, oh yeah. Getting out Doc Arlok with loot can be so good. Oh, hey, look at that. They have Counterspell. But they don't have untapped mana? No, they can untap this. Yeah. I was thinking, like, can they? Yeah, they can. I guess we give them something to counter. Against them. Countered an Aristic Study. This is less part of my strategy. It's just kind of annoying. Oh, Orb! You can put Orb in this deck. It works. It's a good Orb. I love Palantir. We're gonna take so much damage. 2 to the top! Show me the secrets. Okay, 3 life. 3 life lost. Here comes Nissa. We're gonna start fetching. Open this up again. I could just grab a basic. Okay, a Tireless Provisioner. That will give me double landfall triggers for next turn. Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to get. Could have ordered those differently. Guess I got like a Llanowar Elf. Life is a resource. I've got a pretty good budget, but I'm going to let them draw a card. Ooh, they could not or did not cast anything here. I'll consider that a good thing for me. Here comes a Tireless Provisioner. A land. We get triggers from both of these. That is going to get me another permanent type. The permanent type is, well, you already know. It's a treasure. I don't think I need both of these. If they want to trade, I'll take a trade. Cool. And I'm holding back Doc because there are board wipes in black. Alright, so that is just a mana rock. Palantir of Orthanc, we're going to let them draw again. Why didn't I dash Ragavan? Oh, they scribed 2 to top because they were assuming I was going to mill. Borbor! And Fibblethip! Alright, let's go for a discount here. A Doug Dimma discount. Keep drawing. can leave back the Llanowar Elf, just in case the thing we want to cast is big mana, no whammies. Ix's Command. For only 2 mana, huh? I've got a creature in my graveyard, right? Seems good. Who wants to get buff? Let's make loot buff. This is back. I could play her again. I'm going to hold her in hand so I have Borborygmos and Fibblethup's ability. I will actually put this back into my library if they have a board wipe here. Oh, well, it's a board wipe that doesn't kill it. Aren't you glad we buffed up loot? Loot survived. Yep, put you back into the deck. It does mean I will have no permanents for loot. That's fine with me. You get to draw. Oh, whoops. Order, Amy. Yeah, I just missed out on the Time Warp. I had to go Nissa land Time Warp. That's on me. Yeah, we would have had lethal if I didn't goof that up. But you know what? That's fine. We're gamers. They've got enough mana to play their commander, but their commander doesn't save them here. Yeah, imagine counting your mana. I would never. They murdered Nissa. Wow, actual factual murder. They also had Hero's Downfall. Killing my commander? Sure. You draw a card. I get to draw a card too, of Borborygmos and Fibblethub. They're considering something. There's Sauron, the Dark Lord. Chapter 1. I have a Vorinclex in hand. So they have, I assume, single target instant speed removal. No, they're letting me attack. I don't want to throw that. Never mind, they don't have anything. Okay. GG. Yet another first Sliver. Now, this one could actually be Slivers. Though it probably isn't. They go first. We have turn 2 ramp. We have a counterspell that requires this. This is a kind of medium hand. I'm going to mulligan. I like having a Delighted Halfling, Dryad, Nissa, Turn Timber. Yeah, this seems fine to me. It's got ramp in it, which, since they're going to be ramping too, we'll do our best to keep up with them. So, first Sliver probably doesn't have any slivers. Probably just some 5-color good stuff. Looking to cast something like Emergent Ultimatum to get more and more free spells. That tends to be the name of the game for decks like this. Shivan Reef into Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I could also go for loot here. I'm just going to pop down the Turn Timber. So all these can now tap for mana of any color, which is really nice. And I can play additional lands each turn, which is double extra mega nice, because we have a Nissa who landfall floats mana for us next turn. Sweet. All right, they've got 3 mana so far. By the way, the kind of thing that will clue you into if something is a Sultai Ultimatum deck is very often you will notice that every single land in certain first Sliver decks taps for either blue, green, or black. They have other colors in there, but every single one of them will tap for those colors. That's usually like the tried and true sign of this person's mana base is designed for one thing and one thing only. Grab a Nissa. I really want her second trigger, so I'll grab it off this. I'll just grab a basic since we already have the fixing off this. Got a Realmbreaker speaker. Cool. I can play that. And swing for 2. So now we have a pretty nice wide board here. We've got lots of mana. I have a card advantage piece on board and in hand. I've got removal here too, but it's removal that only really works on, you know, a single big thing. Turning things into land is good. All right, key to the archives. They get a high power, beautiful, instant sorcery, and then they discard. All right, they put Black Market Connections. You know, that's actually a Sliver card. Sort of. We got a Tail's End that I can't really use. I've got the One Ring, Minskin Boo. Monty Paul's also really sweet. But I'm going to use the thing that's, like, in my hand that's going to go away if I don't use it. So, here's Minskin Boo! I also had some consideration there of tapping the Delighted Halfling to use Minskin Boo, so I could then use Landlord Loam Speaker to animate a land, which would then technically have haste until end of turn, so I could buff the land with Minskin Boo, to make it so it would be just like a permanent buff on that if I found another way to animate it. It was just like, do I think they're gonna wipe the board? Okay, then they did wipe the board. Move my commander to the command zone? Yes, please. Thankfully, Minskin Boo immune to that sort of board wipe. We also have pay 3 life for Bonnie Paul. Bonnie Paul loves it when we attack. Lets us recur lands from our graveyard even. She's so good. Yeah, I'll bring back the polluted Delta. Bonnie Paul, so sweet. I will highly recommend, if you haven't already seen my Bonnie Paul video, to just like, go have a cow, man. It's so good. Paul Bunyan at home rules. First Sliver comes out, cascades, and is going to cast something for free, and that free spell is Cultivate. Yes. Good. Excellent. 2 mana. I am afraid of 2 mana. Now, whatever's under this fight rigging, I am a little afraid of, because they can get it for free. But I think if it's something that would have won them the game over a time wipe in that last like turn, they would have done that. They would have gone for first Sliver into the mystery spell. Fight rigging. They get the counter, and the spell is... What's the free spell? Oh, it's Essica. Yeah, 5-color good stuff. It's good. And stuff. Yeah, nice time wipe. Bro, I'm gonna throw a cow at you. I do not hesitate. I simply throw the cow. GG. Yeah, I had fun. I threw a cow. Muldrotha, the Gravetide. Muldrotha is incredibly strong because she allows you to replay any kind of permanence from your graveyard, casting various creatures, enchantments, artifacts, sagas that self-sacrifice. It's very, very strong, and in Sultai colors means that you have access to just generally very, very powerful abilities. I'm going to start with this Windswept Heath. I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to crack this open, and I will get my Ketria Triome. Because I want to make sure I have red mana, not just for loot, but for things like the Goblin and Narcomancer. Ooh, nice. I was going to play the Goblin and Narcomancer, but I think it makes more sense to go Arcane Signet into Llanowar Elves, since that gives me 2 different permanent types for loot, and I could play loot next turn. Maybe even get another permanent type out. I love 3 permanent types. But no! My Windswept Heath! I have a small number of ways I could have replayed that. Loot and a Weaver. I could have also gone Goblin and Archomancer into Invasion of Zendikar. But let's start getting loot value. Let's start looting. Hootin', lootin', hollerin', all that kind of stuff. What kind of creature type is loot? A beast noble. Also dead. And it's a recurable way that they can kill him. Okay, fine. Loot does not get me the loot box. A land. A Goblini. Chandra.
Let's do this.
2 red mana. And 2 more lands. Great. Now that's some permanents, baby. I got 5 different permanent types. Other than lands and other than loot. Oh, I love Risen Reef so much. Also elemental. This memory lapse will probably come in handy. Just play loot. Damage is dealt. She approaches her ultimate. I'm actually fine with this. Goblin and Archomancer. I'm swinging at the Invasion of Zendikar if they'd like to double block. That clears out the board. And I still have this. Value Town engage. Loot is legit just teamer value. Oh no, Ravenous Chupacabra. Put it back on top of your deck. You cannot kill my commander. I need him for value! Value! I wanted to see what we were going to get. Good game. Teferi Temporal Pilgrim. You draw cards in order to get more loyalty on your commander, and also buff up the tokens that he makes. I will lead with Turn Timber, so I don't have to pay 3 life. I'm being asked, was Loot adopted or kidnapped? Yes. Yes, he was. Yeah, I have a feeling this is just going to be like, oops, all counter spells. Especially with this Brawl. Card draw is already a thing that, like, blue does to get more counter spells and more card draw. Hey, Brawl. Brawl draws cards. Tezzret's Gambit draws them too. Interesting that they paid 2 life there. Makes me wonder if they have a wash away. I'm actually going to operate under the assumption that they have a wash away because they paid the 2 life. So I'm going to go for Invasion of Ikoria. Or, yes, Invasion of Ikoria. X equals 1. X equals 1. Searching my library to get a sweet little baby. A sweet baby. And they put it back into my hand. So yeah, they really don't want me to have this in play. One sweet baby hobbit. They're washing that away. Now, I could wash away their wash away. But I know what I want. It's ramp. Some green and some blue. The fairy coming into play, and I assume making a blue spirit token.
I will defend the past. Nobody knows the past.
When they draw cards, it gets bigger. Oh my gosh, it's the lady who throws rocks. Rocks and more rocks. We're going to go ahead and throw a rock at that spirit token. I could play loot, or I could animate a land to attack Invasion of Zendikar or to fairy. Nah, I'm looting up. Here comes loot. So Roxanne, such a cool card. Why is she in this deck? Because she's good, and she gets us 2 different types for loot. We get our artifacts, and we get our creatures. Ace Unraveler of Secrets. He can bounce something back into my hand. Or just scry and draw, which is good for Teferi and his token. One, two, three. What do we get? Ooh, Imprisoned in the Moon, Lelia, and the Coast. I'm gonna put Brawl in the moon! Back here. And here. Throwing the rock at Teferi.
Mind is willing, but the body, it hurts.
I'll have to erase that.
Cool, 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 cool. That's a land. We time warp. And they swan song the time warp. Okay, well, I'll get an enchantment into play either way. And I will put down the Bloodstained Mire. Just double checking to make sure. Yeah, Bloodstained Mire. It's really fun to put things in the moon. Cool Spirit.
I think I know what to do.
Making it even bigger. Oh, Lou's gonna get so many cards. And all those cards are gonna make Lelia big, too. What are the challenges in making a good loot deck? Deciding what good stuff to throw into the deck. I genuinely just, like, let people in chat just say, hey, I like this card. Can you put it in the deck? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Oh, that's a hoof. Okay, so we want to make sure we're protecting the hoof with the counter spell. So we're going to play the mountain, and then we're going to hoof. They brainstorm. Yeah, limiting yourself to only 100 cards, that's the real struggle. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mana Drain? Who do you think you are? It's hoofing time. And we win. GG. Unesh Cryosphinx Sovereign. I have so much trouble saying your name. This is going to be mono blue Sphinxes, complete with everyone's favorite big ol' blue guy that factor fictions when it or another Sphinx enters the battlefield, giving you card advantage and more Sphinxes. Also discounting your Sphinxes for more Sphinxes. I could go for Kellen Ramp. I could go for Oracle the Alpha here. I'm feeling Oracle. Let's go. Oracle the Alpha, all-star in this deck. Generally a very nice card to have, but not one that I really favor. I find that the fact that it's putting all these extremely cheap spells into your deck is really great, though, with Loot's draw ability. Swinging in. We're gonna scry Augur of Autumn. That'll let me play some extra lands off the top of my deck. Certainly don't mind that. And I'm going to add to my permanent types with Tail the Suspect. Can I play an additional land this turn? No, because I don't have an additional land. Is it actually one Sphinx, two Sphinxies? Whatever it is you just said. Oh, hey, Bonnie. Not quite what I crave right now. Augur of Autumn. I'm pretty sure it's a counter spell. I don't have any of my anti-counter tech here, which is really rough. Especially because Not only was that a counterspell, that was a mana drain. So is it Unesh time? No, it's Key to the Archives time. Sphinges? One Sphinx, two Sphinges? Who made that up? That's ridiculous. Have a Kellen. Oh, that is an aggressive Pact of Negation. Okay, so they completely tap out because that's 5. But they really didn't want me to have a way to destroy their various artifacts, which is fair. I kind of want those artifacts, though. It's like right now I'm trying to decide between, like, am I going for loot? Or am I metamorphing? Am I a mighty metamorpher? The negation was woe? The negation was woe. I'm going for loot. It's little loot time. Astral Cornucopia. More mana rocks. I guess Sphinxes cost a lot of mana. Oh, cool. Rock destruction. I am going to make a treasure. Destroy an artifact. Me treasure. You no key to the archive. And part of that's because I don't know, like... It's a mono blue deck. It still taps for 2. This also taps for 2 and is proliferatable. I've got enough mana for the Anarchomancer into Loam Speaker. Could also go Conundrum. Let's see what we draw off Conundrum. Pyre of Heroes, an actual Sphinx deck. I'm not that surprised that it's a Sphinx deck with actual Sphinxes. I'll play this Delighted Halfling because they're mono blue. Ooh, Tatyova. I'll put her in my Impulse Draw pile. This is an enchantment, so now we have 3 types of permanents for loot. And now they fact or fiction. Alright, we get to choose 2 piles. I will give you the choice between a land and a Mind Stone or a land and a Palladium Mirror. I think they'll choose land and a Mind Stone. Costs 2 to activate the pyre. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Turn Unesh into eaten by piranhas. And they swan-songed it. That's fair. Warburgmos and Fubblthup. I don't think they'd want a Pyre of Heroes that Unesh. Faceless Agent, that is in fact a Sphinx. A Sphinx that will find them another Sphinx, probably. Alright. You have the choice between River's Rebuke and everything else. They're gonna choose a River's Rebuke. All this is going back into my hand. Coma. I think Coma. Between this and the Halfling. I'm gonna get more cards out of my hand. And I will discard Confounding Conundrum and the Anarchomancer. What is the maximum number of cards you could get off of loot? Good question. Also, Gorfjord, thank you for the 18-month resub. So loot only looks at non-land permanents. So you have creatures, artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers, battles, right? 5. And I guess tribal. But there aren't any of those here. I might have that wrong. I guess no wait, there is one tribal card in Arena. It's like Altar of the Goyf or something. Oh god, they got Omni. Good game, really, is it? Watley, Poet of Unity. Hey, Watley. Watley is the babe who gets you a land, turns into a saga. The saga makes dinosaurs, lets everybody tap for mana, and fetches a dinosaur, lets you tutor for one, and then gives all your dinosaurs trample and double strike. Yes, I have remembered what this pile of text is. Hi, Watley. I got Dino DNA. I don't have Dino DNA, but I do have a loot. And a loot that's going to get 2 cards. Arcane Signet. Sure. Shaper's Sanctuary. If I touch their stuff, they draw a card. Okay, I got 2 lands off that. I think we just go for Minskin Boo. Adds to my permanent types. Also, that's a turn 3 Minskin Boo, which is good. It's good. Very good, in fact. We played against a Watley earlier, too. Unusual to see 2 of them in one day. What are they up to? Playing dinosaurs. Paradise Druid's got hexproof, so I can't just throw Boo at her. I can throw Boo at a Caryatid, though. Alright, we got land, bolt. Remember, if I target their stuff, they do get to draw a card. But denying ramp, still totally worth it. I'm gonna kill the carry. Carry the 1. I'm gonna buff up Lelia, because she deserves it. And then I'll swing in with everything. Sometimes you just gotta be aggressive. Be aggressive. GG. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. You got to see some rootin', tootin', lootin', and, well, actually, Loot doesn't loot. Impulse Draw. Loot is a very, very fast commander, getting you tons of card advantage and letting you just kind of dump your entire hand into play. I didn't get that many games where I had, like, Nissa Tireless Provisioner and playing 6 lands per turn, but trust me when I say it does happen with this deck. And because Loot is just generally good, there are pretty much, like, 50 flex pieces in this deck. Lands? What are your favorite lands? Put them into the deck. Creatures? What do you want? Put them into the deck. It's such a flexible shell of just good cards that you can choose how many, like, good permanents you want versus how much ramp you want, and you can figure things out from there. I do find that having a couple counterspells is really nice. If you're in Team or Colors, just counterspells are really great in 1v1, and having anti-counterspell stuff is also huge. I had, I think, 3 games today that were won essentially on the back of Delighted Halfling and Rhythm of the Wild. Fantastic cards. Also, it's really fun to get to Craterhoof Behemoth people. And if you're ramping and you're going wide with lots of little permanents, Hoof wins games. It sure as heck does. If you're looking for my deck list, though, it is in the description of the video. And if you would like to suggest a commander, please let me know. This was a suggested commander. And what I've been doing is I've been taking all of those, putting them into polls on my Twitch chat, and then Twitch gets to pick what we brew and what we play. If you've never stopped by my Twitch channel, also you totally should. Twitch.tv/Amazonian is my main channel. It's where I stream almost every single day except for Tuesdays. And sometimes you can find me doing all sorts of weird and wild stuff that is not Magic the Gathering, like playing Minecraft with my friend Voxy. It's been really, really fun. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.